Hello, my name is Omar Rampersad. It is Saturday, March 3rd, 2018 at 4:41 p.m. in Toronto. So I'm going to talk a little bit about community targeting and how it affected my employment situation. I posted some tweets today and last night. That was me. It was not hacked. Um, so those tweets on ROSHINI 911 on that Twitter account is mine. And the tweets that was posted today was from me, just to confirm. Um, so those tweets actually talked about harassment on the job and harassment in public and in the building in which I live. So I'm not going to go through the entire history, but I'm going to speak to the situation that came about in the workplace recently. Um, and it seemed to be related to a report that's been released into the workplace and to the public arena about me. So this is a community report that's been compiled, and this includes everything about me. As a target, there is no privacy. My name is on a list to be targeted, so which means that I am being surveilled 24/7 inside my home as well, and most likely in the workplaces as well. And and there is no privacy. So everything personal and private is being made public, and I'm being harassed about that as well. As a target, also a lot of lies and a lot of fake videos and fake recordings are being made using doubles to paint me in a certain light. So all of this is in the workplace. Judging from the excruciatingly painful, harassing comments that I experienced in the last 3 weeks, mobbing in the workplace. Um, so let's get back to the contract to surveil because I was flagged for whatever reason that this whole thing started. And it progressively got worse because I was flagged continuously, which amounts to false imprisonment because then you're surveilled 24/7 on a continuous basis for years. So it amounts to false imprisonment. So the contract to surveil, I'm suspecting, is given on two levels: the community level, and at some point the police gets involved. The report from the community is submitted to the police, and the police flags the person for monitoring, and then that monitoring is contracted. Most likely, a family member takes the contract and then subcontracts to other people. So there is a contract because I was flagged from this building for quite a number of years now. There is always a contract out to surveil. And this contract is held by a number of people. If it's held locally, it could be physical surveillance. If it's held remotely, it could be anybody around the world, anywhere in the country, in the city, in the country, in the world. So remote surveillance. Um, so this contract is held by anybody. So if you're employed with a company and the contract to surveil is held by someone outside of the company, then that person tells the company what to do. Because the monitor is really a quote unquote manager of your life. This is what community control is all about, community policing. They literally take this person whose name is on the list and take complete control of their life, utter complete control in every respect, employment situation, um, and your health, your housing, your relationships, your marriage, your friendships. Anybody who comes in contact with you also comes in contact with a member of this management team that's put in place to manage your life. Basically, you're in prison, but community prison. So instead of four walls around you, physical walls, you have people barking at you anywhere you go to create a wall, a psychological wall, So you're behind bars psychologically. So you're isolated from the community by various means, by spreading rumors about you, by breaking family ties, emotional bonds, husband, wives, girlfriend, boyfriends, children. So you're isolated, which um, which is happening in my case, but I will not allow it to happen. Let's put it that way. I don't feel isolated. The attempt is being made to isolate me, but I will not allow it to happen because I know what's going on. So going back to the workplace and the contract to surveil, there seemed to have been, in my case, this outstanding situation as I went into the job. And at some point, the company took the contract. I'm suspecting that somebody, a coworker, whoever, took the contract and to make it internal within the company. So the company within the company then, the coworkers would form teams of their own. So instead of having an outside team manage me, quote unquote, the company will form teams to manage me while I'm working. So you could imagine the frustration, you can imagine the harassment, you can imagine the experimentation because the control is carried out by holding directed conversations around you constantly and constantly being mobbed about contents of the report, things that the person in the team saw you do inside your home the night before because they're given access to you and your home 24/7. So they pretty much know everything about you. So could you imagine trying to work in a situation like that? Could you imagine the enormous amount of stress placed on someone who walks into a situation like what I just described, and everything is new? You have a portfolio that you're going to learn that of 25 buildings, complete accounting cycle with financial statements and analysis. Learn the system, learn the company, learn how the procedures are carried out, and have all of this thrown at you in week one in a very, very fast manner and deal with the situation at the same time. Of course, I ended up in the emergency ward with heart rate fluctuations and palpitations and stress-related symptoms, dizziness, tightness in my chest and my back, and I have a pre-existing heart issue that I also deal with. So stress caused by this whole situation. Um, so of course this is going to affect your performance, and it did to a certain extent. So while this is happening, then a report is being made by the team, and then the report, because it's what I think it was a setup to make me look slow and I can't cope. And that's, I believe this is exactly what was reported, that I was a little bit slow, mentally retarded. I also heard that I stole a fork. I actually carry my own utensils. This is the lies, an example of the lies being told. I carry my own pens because I'm a contractor. I walk with my supplies, my pencils. So there is no need to steal things. And in this case, the supply room is locked, I was told. So there is nothing to steal. Pens and pencils are $2 for six in a Dollarama store. Why on earth would I steal a pen or a ruler? It doesn't make sense. I carry my own cutlery to work. I don't use plastic cutlery. So I carry my stainless steel cutlery. So I think someone mistakenly took what I took from my home to work and saw me put it in my bag and probably said I stole, from the kitchen, which I didn't. Uh, things like this is being reported. I steal. I'm following somebody around. I heard the person who was training me um, for the first week, of course, is going to interact with me quite a lot. I heard that I'm following her around, which isn't true because when you're being trained, you have a lot of questions. I heard I was also asking a lot of questions. So there was no winning in this situation. I think it was a frame and a setup. So I have to wonder why I was hired in the first place. I'm suspecting that the people in the company knew about this reporting system going on about me, knew about the flag, and knew also that they would be giving input about me. I also suspect that there is a connection between the person who was doing the reporting and the previous monitor who was on the file, who actually flagged me in this building and who I have in court right now. I'm suspecting that there is a connection between the two, collusion. I'm suspecting based on the heinous harassment that I experienced in the last 3 weeks. So, I'm not going to go on and on. It's been 10 minutes, going on 11 minutes. So I just wanted to say that if people in the building, and this is part of this community targeting program as well, if people in the building are calling and listen to me vent inside my home because it gets me extremely angry when I am harassed this way and I need to get rid of the anger. And I consciously, inside of my home and not outside, consciously releases this anger, and somebody's listening to everything I do and say inside my home because it's part of the program. Remember, I'm in prison and I'm in a remote prison. So somebody's always looking and listening to what I'm saying. If somebody's calling the cops based on what I say and do inside my home, it doesn't it's not true. They're lying. They're calling the cops to have me pulled out and drugged, basically, because of course I'm being targeted in the building. I heard as a prostitute, and because I'm mentally ill and I'm this huge criminal who does all these criminal things, all lies. A target by definition is targeted. And by definition, anybody who targets you because your name is on the list and you're disposable as a human being, actually, you're not considered a human being, you're a disposable guinea pig. Whatever is done to you is not is the violations, I should say, that is done to you on various levels is never prosecuted because you're expected to do this to a target. You're expected to degrade them, to dehumanize them, to violate them. And everyone is expected to do this because if you don't, as part of the community, then you're an outsider. This is a sort of a bullying tactic that's used. Join us or get out of the group. So most people join in the targeting in the workplace, of course, and even family members. So very stressful situation to be placed in. And in retrospect, if I go back to my work history, there seemed to be a correlation between a report being made about me that increasingly criminalizes me and paint me as a prostitute and my being dismissed from the job. There seemed to be some sort of a registration into the system that may include interaction with the police about me and my being fired. And this has happened so many times that there's a pattern, a noticeable pattern that can't be ignored. There is a definite correlation between the two. So this reporting system is kicking me out of the workplace. It's criminalizing me artificially. It's destroying my career. Basically, this is where it's headed to utterly destroy my career and paint me as somebody who's mentally ill, a prostitute, and a criminal doing all kinds of criminal things. If someone were to sit down and have a talk with me, or have and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get psychological testing that would show that I'm normal. And if someone were, someone like a police would sit down, not, sorry, I shouldn't say that. If a professional were to sit down and talk and listen to what I have to say, they would know almost instantly that what's being said about me in the file is not representative. It's not a true representation, I should say, of who I am and what I am and what I and the way I carry about my life and my belief system. It's the complete opposite, actually. So it's a glaring, that in itself is glaring proof that a degradation process has taken place. The difference between the two, the glaring difference between the reality of me and this painting of a picture in this file of me. The difference is so great that it has to be evident that there is a targeting program being carried out. Anyway, it's 16 minutes almost, so I'm going to stop there and we'll continue another time.